Welcome back. Back to Jeff. Jeff's back.
I was traveling, decided to go to the Holy Land.
Holy Land.
The Holy Land for
Jeff decided to become holy, and he went to the Holy Land.
Yep, I did. And it was good. We went for a whole week. And it was an interesting trip because we went for some different reasons. Obviously, with my family and I, we wanted to go just to, to go to Israel, which is a great trip. But also I consider this a research trip. I decided I need to do a little research because something has happened to the state of Israel. I don't know what it is. Last time, over 7 years ago when I was there before, it was different. Back when I was there before, Israel was a land of milk and honey. The good guys, they did nothing wrong. We were all on the side of Israel. Now, at least in the United States, something's changed. Israel is not what it was before. We're allowed to say bad and do bad things to Israel. I had to figure out what went wrong in Israel. What did we do wrong? Last time I went there, it was a different time. Listen, when I was there before, you were able to go, a Jewish kid could go walk around on a campus, a college campus in the United States and wear an Israeli shirt and not get harassed. Now, if you walk around with an Israeli shirt with an Israeli flag on it, you're going to get verbally abused on a campus. What is wrong with Israel now? What happened to the government? Now even our government now equates Israel and the government Israel with a terrorist organization of Hamas. So what have we done wrong as a country, as Jews, as a Jewish country, where this can happen? What's changed there? We got the President of the United States demanding that Israel go back to its 1967 suicide borders. He says that with the Muslim Brotherhood sitting there in attendance. Before, if that was done, like back when I've been there before, if a president would have said anything that negative against the people of Israel, he would have been considered an anti-Semite. He would have been attacked, but not anymore. We even have actors in Hollywood, Jewish Hollywood, with the Jewish producers and the directors. We have actors that are boycotting Israel because they're so bad. And their Jewish directors and producers and owners of the studios don't say anything. So I think something has gone wrong. Something has soured in Israel, and I had to find out what it is. If you want to get it even worse, we can talk about Iran. Right now, this I think is the most amazing thing. In this country, we have the United States is leading the way, negotiating for, not with and against, for Iran with the rest of the world to make sure that Iran is able to get nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons where the Iranian government says, we want to wipe Israel off the face of the earth. We want to kill every Jew in Israel. And the United States government is negotiating with the Germans and the French, trying to talk them into agreeing to this deal with Iran. So is Netanyahu that bad? Is the government? We sent our political operatives over to Israel to help overthrow the Netanyahu administration over there because Israel is so bad. And and I got a couple of things, not to get too political.
And by the way, I just want to say, just speaking to our viewers,
right.
the fact Jeff and the Rabbi feels a tremendous sense of responsibility to our viewers. We don't just talk off the top of our head. When there are issues on the table, we get out there and find out what's going on, and that's why Jeff had to go to Israel to get firsthand. Because we're not just going to talk. We got to get out there and find out. Just get the holy dirt under his fingernails and find out what's going on. What are they saying in the streets and in the cafes, and what's going on in Israel?
Absolutely. My entire trip was funded by our budget. I forgot to tell you that. The Jeff and the Rabbi budget paid for this trip because it is obviously a business trip here.
That's right. And the whole entourage with the cameramen, and it was huge. I don't know how the Rabbi got left out of it, but
you have a congregation, you have responsibilities. I have no responsibilities.
Yeah, someone had to keep the fire going at home, I guess.
But it's a serious topic because Israel. I just remember, and it was my last trip there. You couldn't even think negative thoughts against Israel in this country. It wasn't allowed. Now we have in one of the political parties. We only have two in America in their Democratic convention, and this is real. I'm not making this up. In 2012, they voted, and it was one of those easy votes that they don't have to really vote because everyone knows they're going to say yes, whether the Democrats support the state of Israel. And 3 times on the votes, the nays got it. And then when they finally said we're going to have to say yay, they booed it. So 50%, a party that represents 50% of this country booed the state of Israel, saying we don't support it anymore. So something must be wrong with Israel. And to take things a little bit personal, I know people who I've known my entire life who now have equated the state of Israel with genocide. Now, for Jews to use the word genocide, especially Jews, something is up. To convince young people today that somehow Israel is similar to Nazi Germany, it gets me, and it's kind of tough. And you think about it, just to throw in one last thing about our president. We elected a man as president twice who for 20 years was a leading member of an organization that referred to Israel as that dirty word Israel. So I wanted to go in and see what happened to Israel when we became that dirty word Israel. And I traveled, my family and I, we traveled from the secular beaches of Tel Aviv to the Judean desert, the beauty of the Judean desert, to the Arab village of Hebron, then finally to to Jerusalem itself, to the Holy Wall, to Jerusalem. And I came to a conclusion. What has changed in the past 7 years in Israel? Nothing. Nothing at all. Israel is exactly the same. And this is where I'm going to get politically incorrect, and I'm going to warn everybody right now.
For the first time ever on Jeff and the Rabbi, there's going to be some political incorrectness.
Yes.
And here it comes.
And here it comes. There is in this world, and I know nobody believes in this, 100% good and 100% bad. Israel is 100% good. Now that doesn't mean that every Israeli soldier and every Jew is good, but the notion of Israel, the concept of Israel, and the people of Israel are good. We were given this land and granted by God. We there, and we're 100% good. And everyone who is opposed to Israel, everyone, whether it's with stones and rocks and guns from an Arab, or political comments from a politician, or from a Hollywood actor that wants to boycott it, is bad. 100% bad, and that's it. This is Jeff and the Rabbi. Now, I know we live in the world today where a man isn't a man and a woman isn't a woman. There's always gray. You could be a man and a woman. I believe in black and white, and I believe for my trip to Israel, secular, religious, whatever, it is 100% good, and every nation from Iran to Libya to Syria, and maybe even the United States of America, if you oppose Israel, you are 100% bad. I know that's black and white, but that's where I'm standing.
Have you made yourself clear?
I don't know. You want me to keep going? I will. But I think there are absolutes in this world, and this one's by God. And it's in obviously the Jewish Torah, but it's the Christian Bible, and it's the
So
Islamic
what did
Bible
you
as well.
see in Israel that led you to that conclusion? What would you see that maybe you even might have been leaning in that direction to start with? I kind of have a feeling.
Yes.
What was it that you saw that brought those ideas out for you?
That's a good question. And I'm going to tell you, and it might be different than what you see, because I would say as much from the secular side of Israel as from the religious side of Israel. I thought, my son went there a little earlier than us because he went on a Birthright trip, which was an amazing thing. And obviously Birthright is not a religious organization. There are as Reformed Jews as you possibly can be to religious Jews in this thing. And example, when my wife and my daughter and I went into Jerusalem for Shabbos. And we went to the wall. We went into the Western Wall on Shabbos Eve. It's packed. It's packed with people. Most of them are wearing the big, thick black hats, the furry hats there with the cool white stockings there. And there's people with just the regular black hats like you. And then there's every other kind. It was me. I was kind of dressed down a little bit, which is new for me. But and what was interesting when you go in there and everybody is dancing before the wall. You've got 30, 40 different minions, from the black hats to the furry black hats to the all the way down to the Birthright kids, and they're chanting and singing, and you see it on their face. There's no difference. There's not women there. In America, there's difference. There's no difference. These are Jews going to the place, the holiest place in the Jewish religion, and you can see in their face when they're looking up and they're chanting and they're singing. There's no difference, and that's what gives me the opinion that we're different around the world. But when you go to Jerusalem, when you go to Israel, things change, and I kind of equate it to like a sales convention. I used to be in sales. And once a year, they would bring all the sales agents from all over the world back to the convention. You get them all pumped up, you get excited. That's what Jerusalem is, I think. Every once in a while, you got to go there, and the boss has got to kind of give you the whole thing, the singing, the dancing, all the marketing material, and you come back out in the world and you spread Judaism. That's what made me feel the best.
So maybe... and maybe that's what these Birthright people had in mind.
I think it's a good
because
choice.
all those people that are out there on the campuses, they seem to be lacking that type of feeling, especially all those Jews that are wanting to divest and boycott Israel and all that stuff.
Absolutely.
They seem to be missing that feeling. They're not getting that feeling.
I think if you go there and you go to Israel, listen, there's multiple different ways of going to Israel. It doesn't have to be any religion whatsoever. You can go, it's hard as a Jew, I can't experience it any other way, to not feel the history and the Bible behind you. We went to the place where David and Goliath fought. We went up there
yes.
outside Beit Shemesh, which was an amazing thing. You
Yes.
can't stand there, hear the
Right.
story, and not feel it. We went to Hebron, which was an Arab village, and you see the way the Arabs live, you see the way Jews live there, but then you're standing over the tombs of the patriarchs, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and their wives. You know, I think every Jew is moved by seeing that. And you got to get in touch with it. Every once in a while, you need a little refresher course, and I think this one did it. Now, we did some other things, too. We were on the beaches in Tel Aviv, too, which, you know, it's amazing, even in Tel Aviv, to see a mezuzah on every door of the hotel room, to know that every person there, whether they're wearing a kippah or not wearing a kippah, is a Jew, and you belong. And you know they're Jewish, they speak Hebrew, they look Jewish, they sound Jewish, and you're not an outsider. Maybe that you can change your mind a little bit. I know, when we go to school, we go to college, we don't want to stand out that much. You go there, you don't stand out because you're a Jew. Mm-hmm. I think that makes a big difference.
So you think that Israel is for the Jews?
I think Israel is for the Jews, but doesn't mean it's also not for the rest of the world. And the reason I'm saying that is because as Jews, it is our job, obviously God made it clear this is our land, we're supposed to be in this land, to use Israel and what we learn as Jews to show the rest of the world what good is. And I think we do. I'm not talking politics here on this one. Israel is good. We represent what's good, and I think that's why we're hated so much in the rest of the world, is because it is good. And everybody says, well, who's these people? How dare they have a country and represent that they're just good? But they are. And I don't mean everything they do is good. It represents goodness.
So how about, what do you think is going to happen with the Arabic population of Israel?
That's not
And
going to be
when
good.
you were in Hebron,
Right.
you know, there's a lot more Arabs there than there are Jews. That's the best. Last time I was there, that's what it looked like. I think they had the Jews like way outnumbered over there, you know?
Well, I have a couple different theories.
Yeah.
So we're in Hebron, and there's, we're thirsty, and there's, obviously we're Jews. We're standing over by, where the tomb of the patriarchs are. Right next to us, there's little Arabs out there selling water. So I go over, and there's a little teeny Arab girl, and I'm going to buy a bottle of water, and she says it's 5 shekels. I give her a 50 and tell her to keep it. Now, 50 shekel, not $50, 50 shekel. She didn't understand. What do you mean? What do you mean? You mean? Finally explained to her. Then she brought over all her friends are surrounding the 50 shekels. So I've got two theories. One day, 20 years from now, this girl, she's going to turn out to be just like everybody else. She's going to go to school and she's going to be bad. One day, my son or some of his friends are going to take the wrong turn in our village. Let's say not my son, someone else. One of two things are going to happen. One, this little girl, and everybody's going to remember, that guy with the kippah on gave me a 50 shekel thing. I'm going to take this boy into my house, even though I hate the Jews, and I'm going to save him. Either that or not at all, and she's going to lead everybody to him. But there's a possibility, one of two answers.
Or she could go home and put it in the Hamas Benevolent Society charity box.
Right, which she might have done, which one more missile's going to come over.
That's right. That's right.
I'm not sure. I don't think there's not. One thing I can tell you for sure, there's not a political solution to this problem. Mm-hmm. It's not a political solution because there's no way on earth right now today that the Arab people, I'm not saying that all the Arab people themselves are bad, but what they believe in is bad, and there is no way in the way the world is today that they will live beside the Jews when they still think they have a chance to take the whole land. And when you have someone honestly, like Obama running America, they believe, hey, as he said, and we're not even going to negotiate with these people till they agree to give up, half of Jerusalem. So they're not. There's no chance for peace whatsoever right now. No chance for a two-state solution. Nothing.
I could understand where you're coming from. It doesn't sound to me like the average person certainly not in the college campus, and maybe even in Washington D.C. is going to be buying into that approach anytime in the very near future. I just really don't see it happening.
Well, I had a discussion with my wife about this, and I think the problem is, and this is what the problem is with liberalism everywhere, with young people and liberalism. When you're young, you go home, you have black and white in your house. You got to be home at 12 o'clock. If you're not home at 12 o'clock, you're in trouble. You can't cross the street without looking both ways. You got to do this. When you get to be about 19 or 20, you're out on your own. Hey, I don't have to listen to anybody there. There's not just black and white, there's gray. If I stay out past 12 o'clock, I'm not going to die. Something different might happen in this world. So where liberals start when they're young is a world of gray. So their world of gray is, there can't be all right. These poor Arab children, they grow, and listen, I feel bad for Arab children too. It's not their fault till they get older. But they live in a world, it's not their fault. These big tough guys in Israel, it's an apartheid state. They're mean, they're tough, they're abusing these underdogs. It's all gray. They can't accept that, yes, maybe what Judaism is, what what God said is 100% correct. And if you're opposed it, you're 100% wrong. Not that you're a bad person. I mean, you might be, but you're 100% wrong. There is good, there is evil, there is black, there is white. And living in a world of gray, it's never gonna fix it. You gotta believe in black and white. Maybe that's why you're always wearing black.
That's right. It keeps life simple for me.
Right. You
I don't have to make any changes.
When you wake up in the morning.
The decisions, like it's like, which shirt should I wear? The white one or the white one or the white one? Ah, let's wear the white one.
Nothing wrong with that. But that in America, you're not a thinking man. How could you possibly be that? You mean you're saying because that man was born a man, he can't be a woman? Listen, Caitlyn Jenner is pretty cute. I got to give you that. But I bet she can't throw a javelin anymore now.
That's right.
There's nothing wrong with black and white in this world.
Now, so what was, of all the places that you saw, and you've been to Israel before, so you've probably seen some of these places a second time, what did you see or go or do that was the most moving to you?
Well, two different things, moving and fun. The most fun thing we did, because we took all the kids to this, we went to this thing that was called Caliber 3. I would recommend it to anybody going to Israel. It's not just going to a little shooting range. This was anti-terrorist training. This was awesome. And we went in and they teach you everything. They've got real Israeli soldiers. They teach you how to hold the guns, how to move. They're very black and white, by the way. Speaking of black and white, as you said, you hold the gun. Why do you have the gun? A couple of people answered, for peace and to whatever. He said, no, you have the gun to kill people. So they're a little bit more black and white than the rest of the people. And then we shoot. We shot Glocks, we shot M16s, and I do have to tell you right now, the #1 shooter in the entire group, it was me.
There you go.
And the family that won, so they had a family thing.
Rambo Goldstein.
Yep. And then the Goldstein team won the entire competition.
Really?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Now, of course, everybody's name was Goldstein. We were in Israel. But no, that was the most fun. The most moving, as I said, and I'll go back to it again, was the wall. And I've been to the wall before, and it's a moving place. But on Shabbos, when it gets dark, and everyone from, as I said, the furry hats, the black hats, to the people that, you go outside and you have to get a kippah there because people don't wear kippahs. You have to get a little cheapy white one there. Everybody there was the same. They were Jews. They were at Mount Sinai, and there they were at the wall dancing with the same intensity as the guy that does this every morning and wakes up and wraps tefillin to the guy that's never put tefillin on in his life and probably doesn't have a Passover Seder. Wow. That was the most intense and moving part of it.
So it doesn't seem to me like all this, divest and all this type of stuff is really going to get Israel to change. If people keep going to Israel and they keep having experiences like that at the wall and keep feeling that this is who they are and finding themselves, it's going to be really hard to try to get Israel to get these people to abandon the state of Israel.
Don't think it's going to end. Obviously, there's movements in Israel that want to do that. There's movements in Israel, as you know, we want to let's give more land. Let's give the Golan Heights back. The Syrians. Let's do all this stuff. Not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. My feeling is, and especially if you met these soldiers that we met there, and they were really big guys. I'm used to. I lived in Virginia. The little Jewish guys. I was tall for a Jewish guy. You had little guys. Like when my kids. One time we put them over the YMCA. We were going to see if they can play soccer there, and it wasn't going to happen. Yeah. We went back to the JCC, which is the Jewish Community Center, and they were big kids there. These were big Jewish guys, dark, tanned from the desert. They ain't giving anything back. That I'm pretty sure of right now. That's the way I feel about it.
Well, okay. It looks like we've really. It looks like Israel has won over one follower.
And I was purely going there for research. I was purely biased. But I think every Jew, and I know we all know about this and the government and whatever, you need to go, even if you've been before, you need to go, because again, it's like the sales meeting. You need a refresher course to remember not just, listen, I know you wake up every morning, you put on tefillin, you pray 3 times a day. It's even you, which I know you go to Israel, even someone like that, needs to go back there, to the center, to the one point where it all is. When you're standing over, supposedly they say in Hebron is where Adam and Eve were buried as well, where Abraham and Isaac, Jacob, Leah, Rebecca, all buried here. It's a big refresher. It's hard to sit there and say, let's give some land back here. Right. When you read in the Torah, which was written by God, not written by some local guy here, it says, this is your land. And he got mad a little bit when we went in there and we didn't do exactly what he said. No, you got to wipe out everybody. He made it very clear, God, this is our land. You know, I don't think we should mess with it. I think he was pretty certain.
You know, when people come back from Israel, and I've done it myself and been inspired by trips and everything, so I have to always put things in a historical perspective. If you go back to, let's say, the time of my grandparents and before, so my grandparents were born in the 1880s, 90s, you know, in Europe. So 1880s, 90s, there's no Israel, there's no state of Israel. Nobody was taking vacations, no one's taking trips off to Israel. And had they taken a trip off to Israel, like, they wouldn't be seeing the stuff that you were seeing.
No.
You know, they might have been seeing malaria and dysentery, and you know, they might have been seeing like Arab riots, and who knows what. I mean, so they weren't seeing any of that. They didn't have the chance to like go off to Israel and charge their batteries and identify. But for some reason, they and centuries and centuries and centuries before them had a very, very, very strong sense of who they were as Jews. And they didn't have a country, but they knew who they were as Jews. Then it's really interesting. Then they get picked up and they moved to America and to all these other places, and somewhere along the line started to lose themselves as Jews. The next generation and the generations that followed sort of lost their Jewish identity. But along came the state of Israel, which became a physical place that you could go and find your Jewish identity. So for a people that lost their identity, Israel, and I feel it's, to me, it's sort of like, I look at it like it's a divine thing, where God stepped in, and at just a time when we're losing our identity, because so many Jews are severely losing their identity, along comes a tangible thing like going to Israel and the state of Israel and everything that it is, and lets you touch it again. You know, my grandparents were devout believers, but they never went to Hebron, and they never saw the stuff. But their great-great-grandchildren maybe are not such devout believers. So God gives them the ability to touch it and to feel it, to go stand there, to recharge their batteries. This is an amazing thing. And I have to feel that, you know, this came into at this juncture in history, Israel re-enters the mix. It was out of the mix. I mean, it was conceptually in the mix, but it wasn't physically.
Talked about it next year in Jerusalem,
yeah,
but that wasn't realistic.
It was always theoretically in the mix, but it was never practically in. Now, Israel is really front and center, and that's really why, if you look all around the world, they talk about anti-Semitism as anti-Israelism, and it's all one and the same. Yeah. And the state of Israel has really just given like a focus for anti-Semitism. But on the other hand, it's also given a focus for Semitism, for Judaism.
I agree.
You know, and Jews can go there and find themselves as Jews and get turned on and see, this is who I am. Like, you can really go like, oh, wow, this is really, really who I am. That's exciting.
I agree, because that's, as I said, from every level of religiousness, if that's the right way to say it, there's no difference. You're right. We live in a generation now with HD TV, so we have so many conferences. We don't need Judaism anymore. A lot of people. We got TV. We've got everything we need. Got Las Vegas. You got whatever you need. You get to Israel, and you realize that whatever that magnet is inside of you, it's still there. It still points due east, and it still gets there.
Right.
So that was a great trip.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
That is exciting. So next time, you know, you're in Israel, just watch out, because you don't want to be like in the wrong neighborhood and running into like Rambo Goldstein and
I can shoot.
Yeah, and his family.
Right.
Well, I'll be like armed to the teeth, you know, with their
Absolutely.
guns on their shoulders, and not even on their shoulders. They're going to be pointing at you. Watch out.
Right. That's great. So that's it. Now, next week, Rabbi Freeman will talk about his trip to Vegas.
Yeah, right.
We'll see how that worked.
Right.
He was doing research in a
Right,
different area.
I went to Gwinnett last week.
See how that went. All right, great. Well, we'll see you next week.
Okay.
Rabbi.